Hi everyone, Eileen here from the Lavinia Stamps DT, and I've got another video tutorial for you. I needed to make a quick birthday card, so this is what I came up with. It has a stencil background featuring Elements inks and the foliage stencil, and the stamps that I'm using are Star Cluster. Can you see that? And what else? Tia, Beautiful Fairy. The tiny little Pippin, who is a firm favourite with me. And the Happy Birthday from the Heartfelt Verses. Oh, you can't see that. That's better. Happy Birthday from the Heartfelt Verses sentiment set. Well, thanks for joining me today. It's great to have your company. And here is how I made this card. I have a piece of copy paper. I'm using a stamp mat here as well for the stamping, but you can use stamp press, obviously. Piece of copy paper over the top. I've got my card that I can have a look at as I'm going along. And a piece of cardstock, and this is multifarious cardstock from Lavinia Stamps in cream. I've taken an A4 sheet, folded it, creased it and cut it to 13 centimetres by 13 centimetres square. Just popping a piece of stencil tape down inside to hold it flat because it keeps flapping about. And then just checking that I'm in shot. That's not too bad. And the first thing I'm going to do is to take some Sweet Poppy stencil tape and just make a panel on the side of my card. One. I'm using a bit too much here, but never mind. 2, 3, and then removing the second one, instead of using another strip, I can put that over there, like so. Make sure the edges are firmly stuck down. Some mark on my tape. I think I've had it too near my ink pad, but it hasn't marked the card, so that's fine. So remove that one and then just concentrate on the middle one. Now I'm using Elements inks in Confetti, Sundance and Blue Lagoon. Very deep blue, this one. So I need to be careful with all of these. I want the background to be in the background. I don't really want it to overshadow the beautiful stamps images. So I'm going to be very light and just kiss over the top of the stencil rather than grind it into the background. Starting with Sundance and one of my stencil brushes from Lavinia. I have a pink one, pink one, yellow one and a blue one. And the stencil. Now the stencil, which is mucky from a previous, as I made the sample cards from a previous session, I'm not bothered about that. I've got a piece of, it's called Foliage, I've got a piece of stencil tape on the side of that. So pop that down so that I can see it in the middle of the panel. And then that allows me, excuse me, I've got the hinge so that I can see underneath. Just going to have a slurp of coffee. That's good. Right. So starting off with Sundance, and I might have enough in the lid. I put some in the lid earlier on of this. Yeah, that's just about right. Starting at the bottom, very loose wrist, very loose. No pressure on the head of the brush. Just lightly. Circular motion, just going up the card, over towards the right. So you haven't got a sort of straight lines. That will do for the yellow, and then onto the pink confetti. So just popping a bit of ink into the lid. Oh, again, that's enough. Lightly again, very lightly, hardly any pressure at all, as I just float this brush over the top of this stencil. I love these brushes. Yeah, okay. I do lots for Lavinia, you know that. But this brush I would not recommend if I just didn't find it one of the best that I've ever used. It's soft, the bristles are soft, they don't shed, and it's got a domed top. Excellent for blending. Right. There we go. A bit more down here, and maybe just a tiny amount there. A bit more there. Let's have a look. Yes, coming along. Far too much, actually, but I can get rid of some of that. So now for the blue. And this blue, yes, it's a lot on the brush. This could make or break because it's so dark. Again, just lightly flick it over. A bit more down here. A few green tones. A bit more there. And maybe a bit there. Yeah, it's got a sort of looks like a bit of a muddy area. Anyway, let's go with it. I'm not overly happy with that because I think I did put too much ink on. So, but if you do the same, this is how you resolve the problem and make your background the background. Most of you that follow me know this. This is a Tombow Mono Sand Eraser. The code number is 512A, and it's a Tombow Mono Sand Eraser for ink, and it's fabulous. So I'm just going to very lightly, well, no, actually not too lightly. I'm just going to give this some welly, rub out some of the areas to knock it right back into the background. It will break some of the fibres on your card. You shouldn't see any damage, but you won't be able to reapply the stencil and get the same result over the top again if you go too far. Because as the fibres of the card are broken, the card will it will be more porous, will suck more ink in, and your ink will be darker, the shade. So be aware of that if you go too far. Let's have a look now. We've got a brush here. Do-it-yourself brush, just to get rid of all these bits. Now that I'm happier with. And look, ink on fingers, onto the card. Oh, what am I like? Where's my eraser again? Better wipe the fingers first. That's got to go. Put it down a bit so you can see. This doesn't work on every ink. It doesn't work on every cardstock. It's an eraser. It's not a miracle worker, but it works on the stuff that I use. Right. I mean, you might like the more concentrated look, and that is where the choice comes in, doesn't it? For me, I like it so really more dimensional with highlights and lowlights, and well, I'm trying to be a bit arty. I think that's it, really. So, I do need this. I don't know why I've taken it away again. Now we're on to the stamping, because I'm happy with that background. First of all, I need my star cluster, and Versifying Claire Nocturne. Gentle tapping. Got a tiny amount of black ink here. Don't need that. I'm just going to put this half in and half out of the panelled area, and at the bottom of this stamp you will see a gap in the stars. So there's quite a profusion of stars up the top and around the sides, but very sparse here, and that's what I'm looking for to be at the bottom, so that Tia can sit somewhere comfortably. Stop it. Okay, right, so about an inch and a bit up from the bottom, 3 centimetres, might be something like that. Down. Lovely day here in North Kent, just letting the ink soak in. Neighbours are out and about again. Oh, I haven't seen one of those for a long time. I thought they were banned. Oh well. Okay, so what have I got? Lovely, beautiful. Next, it's the gorgeous Tia herself. Again. Ooh, good job that wasn't over the card, wasn't it? Gentle tapping. And going to one side, you might not see this. Well, it might be a good idea as it's a demonstration. Sorry, got the pickle in me today. I've had a lovely week so far. How are we doing? It's good. So she looks well covered in the Versifying Claire Nocturne ink. Down we go. Oh, a little bit more on that side. Just wiping off the spare ink. Check fingers. Up we go, where Tia straight, but at the same time. Okay, let's try that. Plenty of pressure. And up. Yeah, she's good. Maybe her hands have got covered by the stars there, but never mind, it doesn't matter. She looks okay. I've got a slight blurring of the edges here as a star right under her hand. And it's made her hand look a bit blurry or not as sharp as it should be. So a bit of white pen, you'll never know the difference there. As that sinks in. You might know it there though. I wonder if I can calm that down. Oh yeah, that's better. Right, okay. So that's Tia. And she is holding, I haven't put this on the list, she is trying to catch one of these tiny hearts. They're in the pound section of Lavinia. I'm going to do that in black again. I did do one earlier in red, but it didn't really show up. So I'm just going to pop that down. So she's trying to catch that heart out of all the stars. Why not? Pippin next. I love this hair. He's so sweet. And Pippin's just going to gaze up adoringly at Tia. Popping him in the side. Press down and up. Lovely image. And the last of my stamping is Birthday Wishes from the Heartfelt Verses set. I think you get about 4 sentiments in that. I'm not sure what they are now, but well, actually, I've got them to hand. What have we got here? With love, just for you, and with love, just for you, and this one I can't read because it's upside down. I think it's about sending sympathy and good wishes, the last one. I'm trying to read the stamp back to front. I'm good, but I'm not that good. So birthday wishes, and this is where a stamp press comes in really handy, because I want to stamp this along the bottom, but I'm too lazy to get it out. So I'm going to wing it and hope for the best. That's good. Okay, what's next? Going to put in just a tiny amount of colour using polychromos pencils. Now, where I took out the ink from the stencil, I'm just going to pop just a tiny amount back, and I'm using pencils because I can control it more. So there's a little bit there. I'm not going all over the image, just colouring in a few of the patterns in the background from the stencil and smoothing it out again with the eraser if it looks a bit, you know, if you've got too many lines from the pencil itself. The further back you hold the pencil, the less pressure on the lead, and you get a smoother look. And there's another one here that looks a bit muddy, look. So I'm using this pink. What's this one? Sorry, it's red. It's tiny. Looks like a dark pink to me, actually. But again, I'll go for yellow again. And this one. And that one there. So I've added a bit of colour, but it doesn't interfere with the main images. And finally, just going to pop on some grey, because Pippin needs to be grounded. And away he goes. He hasn't got a starter sit on like Tia. Where's my brush? Too much ground under Pippin, so it takes some of that out. Very lightly pop that back in. Yep, that's good. Right, what else? Nothing, that's it. Oh, yeah. I'm quite liking how that turned out. I'm going to do my usual trick of using a black Sharpie around the edges after I've finished the card. Close your eyes if you feel uncomfortable, and I'll tell you when I've finished. Check fingers. Okay, all done. Let's move some of this away. And I really enjoyed that. And it's a quick, simple card. And I think it's quite pretty. So here's the one I made earlier on. And the only thing that I did on this is that I splashed a little bit of Posca paint on the top of that, which I haven't done on this one. So I need something to bash it with. Just putting a few. Don't want to go over the images, it ruins it. Just want to bring the card together with a few paint splashes. Yeah, why not? Bit down here. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for being with me today. I've thoroughly enjoyed this demonstration, even if the card won't stay flat. But I'm going to get going while the going's good. Lots to do today, really busy, all crafty stuff. So I'm as happy as Larry. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for looking. Stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.